Today, I'm going to show you how to take your template that we're using on the home page and apply it to the rest of your sites. If you'll notice, the header, the footer, the nav, the stuff that gets repeated across sites is going to be fine on every page. But what happens on other pages? And even better than fine, they're going to be great. What happens on other pages? So let's check out the customer service page. Okay, so this is just madness here. We have one single column and has no idea what to do. Likewise, on our furniture page, which is also something a little bit different, it has no idea what to do as well. So I think one thing we need to do is to know exactly what templates these pages are using. So as always, I'm going to go to System, Configuration, Developer, and then set my configuration scope to be main website. I'm going to turn on our developers toolboxes and I'm going to see what templates these are using at the moment. Okay, I'm going to refresh this page. And it looks like, as we can see here, this is using page 3 columns. What did our privacy or our customer service page use? I bet it's using 3 columns as well. So we have these pages. Let's actually see if we can have one that's using 1 column. Okay, this one's using 1 column. So we have these templates. They're already in existence, and well, you can tell they're in existence because pages are using them, but more importantly, they're in our default folder, and pages, unless you tell them otherwise, are going to want to use these. So we can go to all those pages and tell them to use the same template, but you're going to want to have different options. You're going to have left column, right column, 1 column, whatever. So let's look at our theme. Our theme, we have 2 columns right. In the default theme, they have 1 column, 2 columns left, and 3 columns PHTML. And we're just going to grab all 3 of those, and we're going to put it in our theme. We're of course going to copy these as always, and throw it into our page directory where they were. Sorry, I threw them into the HTML by accident. Let's move these up a level. Thanks, Finder. Okay, let's put these in the page directory where they belong. And let's open them up in Sublime Text. Let's open all of them up. Great. Okay, well, it decided to not do that. Let's do something a little bit differently here. 2 columns left. We're going to have this open as a tab. I'm going to close some of these other tabs, so we don't need them right now. And we won't need them for the remainder of this tutorial here. So I'm going to grab the 3 columns, throw it up here as well, and the 1 column, throw it up here, just so we can have them all open. And I'm going to change my view here. I'm going to change the view to do layout and 2 columns. So this right template is the one that we were using before. I'm going to hide the sidebar to get some extra space here. Okay, this 2 columns right is the one we were using before. We want to take the styles that we used for this, which wasn't a whole lot of craziness, but we want to apply them to these other templates. Since 2 columns left is going to be the most similar, let's pull it over here and we can compare them. First off, we see this doc type. This stuff's all different here. I'm going to grab everything from this doc type to the head. I'm just going to replace this code. And likewise, so we have, we can line these up sort of here. But we have a div class of wrapper, and then we have Global Noses head. We had this class of page that we actually deleted. So I'm going to delete this as well, right here. Okay, so these are getting a little more similar, and we had this div that was main container. We gave it just a class of container, and we're going to do that again here. We're going to change this 2 column left. We're going to get rid of that as well, and just give another clear fix. And for this div class of main, we'll leave it like that, column main, instead of 13 column. Well, this is column left. We're going to do the same here. We're going to do 13 columns, column main. And for the sidebar, this column left, it's also going to be sidebar 3 columns. And I'm just going to paste this in here. Okay. And one thing you might be thinking is, okay, well, if these look the same, how is this going to be left and this one going to be, or this one's going to be right and this one's going to be left? Well, the way that Magento was doing it, their default themes, they had this floating left and this floating right. And here they had this floating right and this floating left, or them both floating left. Either way, we're not going to be doing it that way. We're using skeleton, so we want this column left to actually come before our main column in our theme right here. Okay, so let's get on that. Okay, so now we have what should be the same, except for we had this be a section before. Let's see, section, and then we want this right bar, we want this to be in this side, or this left bar, I'm sorry. Okay, cool, so now things are looking really similar. In fact, this is all we need to do for this file. Let's check out our page to see what's changed. First, we want to turn off this configuration settings, which we've done. Okay, now we want something that's going to be using this layout. Let's pick this furniture page. I'm going to go to catalog, manage categories. I'm going to change this furniture one specifically, furniture, and we're going to custom design. No, layout updates. I'm going to say 2 columns with the left bar. And really quick, I need to select this custom design level up default and save this. Great, and now we have opposite what we had before. We have a 2-column layout with a column on the left, column on the right. Of course, this is going to require more CSS than this to get it looking great, but the basic layout is here, and if we adjust our page, it's going to be responsive. Cool, perfect, awesome. So now we just need to take it to the last 2 template files and we'll be on our way. So let's do the 3 columns first because that's going to be the most different, and then 1 column because it's going to be the easiest. So I'm going to come here again and grab everything, the stock type, this code right above the head here, throw it in, and now we have this page using HTML5. Again, I'm going to delete this page class as we did before, just like that. And I am going to change this main container to just be container, and then this call3 layout to be clear fix. And this time we're going to have to do something a little bit different. If both of our columns are taking up a left and a right, we're going to have the main take up something different. So before we had the left sidebar go above the main wrapper, we're going to be doing that again. They're using a little different technique to have 3 columns here. I find this grid framework to be a little bit better of a technique, especially for doing this responsive, using this skeleton framework. We might as well use it to our advantage. So this is going to be an aside. This is our left side. This is our left column. We're going to have this be at a side, and we're going to have the classes for this be the same as it was before. Sidebar, 3 columns. And we're not going to worry about left because it automatically is on the left. Although maybe we can leave the left in there. I take that back. We want to leave the left in there if we're trying to key off anything inside of it. But other than that, we shouldn't need it. This div, the column wrapper, is going to be, actually this is going to be completely gotten rid of because this didn't exist in the previous template. So content wrapper is gone. We have this column main at the same level as our side here. Just make sure all this is nice and clean. Okay, and this main column is going to be a section, and this div is going to be a section. Okay, and we're not going to worry about the classes right now. We're going to do this one first, this right column, which is also an aside, and then aside. And this is going to have the same sidebar, 3 columns. If you remember, our total column numbers were out of 16. 16 minus 3 minus 3 is 10. So we're going to have this main section, column main, we're going to say 10 columns. So now this is going to be 10, 3, 3, equals 16, we should have a 3-column page here. So let's check out one of our 3-column pages that we're using this. And we can go to, let's say electronics, I believe, was using it. So now I clicked on electronics, we have 3 columns, just like we would have in the old Magento design. However, these columns are responsive to the width of your site and are going to allow for better mobile experience. Okay, last one is 1 column. It shouldn't take any time at all. If you remember what we did before, as always, we're going to grab this stuff, throw it up top here, delete the page. Because these templates are mostly the same, if you're working off of these, that's cool. Another thing you could have done from the start was build out your own template and then fill it in with their code instead of modifying their code. You know, either way works depending on how custom you have to make it. If it has to be very similar to Magento's default site, you might as well just edit theirs and take it from there. This certainly works fine for this particular instance. So I'm just going to add a class of container, a class of clearfix, and then our class of main, and then our section column main. This time it's going to be getting a class of, it's going to be getting a class of 16 columns. So 16 columns. Save this, and let's find a page that's using this 1 column layout. Actually, let's go to apparel, and we'll tell apparel to use a 1 column layout just for fun. So we can see it in action. Custom design. We're going to use parent settings, applied products. We're going to say use Magento or use Level Up. And 1 column. Save this. Refresh. It's now using a 1 column. It's responsive. I mean, it's not great. We wouldn't want to do this normally, but we have all of our templates ready to go. So in between this tutorial and the next, I'm going to do some styling to get these things looking right. If you need help with that, let me know, and I will make tutorial videos to show you how to style these up in a grid a little bit better. But I'm basically going to get this presentable so we can do some real great Magento development here.